There's been a recent shift in the hero versus villain dynamic in the last 2 years, and it's all due to one person, Thanos. Thanos was first introduced to us cinematically in the box office smash Avengers Infinity War, where in the first 5 minutes of the movie, Thanos showed his dominance by dragging around Thor, embodying Hulk in one of the most technical displays of power ever shown on film. Fans watched in shock and awe as this tyrant ran through the entire movie, flexing his might and giving us timeless expositions along the way. The dominant villain was something already established in earlier movies such as Killmonger from Black Panther or Bane in Dark Knight Rises. And while these villains did give you the vibe that it might take a second fight to win, they were always dealt with before the movie ended. Infinity War was the first time the writers decided to have the villain win the entire movie, showing the audience a different view of the hero struggling with an opponent that they truly couldn't beat and had no solution for at the end of the movie. And with that infamous snap, Thanos not only changed the MCU, but the real world was affected as well. Fast forward to 2020, and villains are now nearly unstoppable in today's mangas. Villains are becoming more relatable by society's standards. Characters that were once just used for story conflict are becoming way more complex, past the point of just calling them simply evil. Killmonger represented the disconnect that the descendants of slaves in America have with their history and culture in Africa, eventually convincing the protagonist that the way things were operating were indeed due for a change. Villains are overall stronger in today's age. One example is Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. Many people grew up reading and watching Batman, and with Bane being revealed to be the next villain in the Dark Knight trilogy, it was a huge left turn from the Joker who we had seen in the previous movie. From his opening scene, we see Bane as a smart and physically imposing threat, a clear change from what we were used to at the time. Militarized, focused, and always seeming to be one step ahead of the Caped Crusader. But the first fight between these two really put into perspective how much things had changed in favor for the villains. Never had we seen a hero, especially a fan favorite like Batman, take a beating quite like the one Bane gave him. The one thing that stood out the most was the haunting silence of background music during the fight. No little uplifting comeback tune to cheer the audience up, just complete silence as the grunts of two men fighting in a one-sided match. Batman has been defeated many of times prior to The Dark Knight Rises, but this time something was different. You could tell Batman's strikes weren't affecting Bane. Bane constantly let Batman get in numerous free shots during the fight without missing a beat. He wasn't laboring, his breathing never increased, his henchmen never flinched or raised their weapons to help the boss. They just watched. The first time for me watching that scene was rough, because I wasn't used to seeing a hero broken down in such a manner. It didn't seem real. But still, by the end of the movie, Batman has his workout session and comes back to claim victory. Sort of. While Infinity War took it a step further. Not only was Thanos always one step ahead, his ideology was solid. He never killed unless he had to, and when he completed his objectives and his goals were in reach, instead of having the heroes come in and restore order at the last minute, the writers did the unthinkable. They ended the movie and made us sweat it out for an entire year on how the story was going to play out. Because you're not supposed to outright end the story with the villain winning, right? Marvel took a huge gamble with an even bigger payout. From Jigen to Moro to Shigaraki, it's taking heroes a lot more in this day and age to defeat villains. Whereas before, all it took was the initial fight, the hero would lose, go off and have some special type of training, and come back and be able to win by a transformation or have outsider help. But that's no longer the case. There's only one person to thank for that, the Mad Titan. He set out to do what he did, and he succeeded way more than he could ever have hoped for or known. Ayo, Malik here. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you. If you enjoyed today's content, like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell to turn on the notifications so you are up to date on when I drop more videos. Also, leave a comment on what ways you think Thanos may have affected change in the real world. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.